Okay, welcome everybody to Monday Morning Coffee and Art in the Morning. I'm Dee Dee. This is Ustream.tv, a live show with the live, mostly awake chat. Thanks everybody for being here in the live chat. And if you're watching the recording on YouTube, thanks for watching over on YouTube. And so this morning I wanted to color a page out of Sirena. I know I still have a couple other pages. We're getting caught up. I did finish the, let me find it. Where did I put it? I finished the, here it is, Mythomorphia double page spread. And I did post pictures on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So if you, okay, Melody, good to see you. You take care of yourself. Message me. Keep in touch, okay? Hey, G Taurus, good to see you. So we did finish. I had it marked, I thought. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Did finish the double page spread of the lion fish and the seahorse. And I do have pictures posted on social media, so if you want to see them close up. So we finished this double page spread in about 3 shows, and so we got that done. And I am still working on the Alice in Wonderland, which is, everybody wants to see me color just like with color pencils from start to finish, and I talked about that earlier, that that's some minority of people that want to see a page colored from start to finish with just color pencil, no matter how long it takes. We did do a couple of like that. I've done the Oh Dear, the Bennett Klein Oh Dear. We did that a few years ago, and it took 10 episodes, but I just can't do that. It just takes way too long. And I enjoy, just personally, if I'm going to enjoy my color book experience, I like starting with a base of either watercolor, marker, neocolor, acrylic washes. That's the way I color, and that's the way I enjoy it. I don't mind showing you how to start from just straight pencil, and I'm kind of doing that in the Alice in Wonderland poster. But it's not my way of coloring. I would never get anything done if that's all I did was color just with color pencil from start to finish. I would probably still be on page, my 10th or 20th page rather than 100. And that's just, I just don't enjoy the taking weeks. I don't enjoy taking weeks on a color book page, and that's just me. If you take weeks on a color book page, nothing wrong with it. Don't email me, nothing wrong with it. Just saying, for me, I don't like to spend weeks on one page. That being said, so I did a little play this morning. I started coloring here with just the Crayola Super Tips. These are just Crayola Super Tips. And you can get them in sets of 50, sets of 100. You can get them on Amazon, Walmart, Michael's with coupons. So I did just play, and it did get a little flashed out there. I did just play a little bit before. Hang on, guys. Let me focus again. Before I hit record, and the sun is going in and out behind clouds, so it's making my light, like it usually does, messed up. And so anyway, I did this before I hit record. It took about coloring all this with just the kids' Crayola markers, no shading yet with pencil, which is what my next step with this will be. It took about 20 minutes. So if I had just done this much, just with the base coat of color pencil, would have taken some hours. Yeah, so, and whatever everybody likes. Some people like taking weeks on a page. Some don't, work a little on one and another, and I like doing that as well. So anyway, this is not the page I'm going to work on today, but I just wanted to show how you can get a start, a base, a a base coat of things done before you start shading with pencil on top of this. And that's what I would do next. So that being said, we're going to go to the page I had picked out for today. And this is the book Sirena by Mardel Rubio. Colorful Dream of Mermaids and Seashells. I have done a flip of this, and I will I'll do a flip for you real quick. Does the 100 count have, as far as I know, I don't think I've seen any duplicates. Some are very similar. Like these two are very similar, but they're not exact. I have not gone through and compared literally every single one of these, but I have not seen really any duplicates. There's similar ones, like here's two flesh colors. They're just a little different. They're not a lot different. I don't know their formulation as to how they make them different. Yeah, but they're different. They're different. Is there any duplicates in there? I can't say for sure, Galena. Okay, so, and some of the pages are landscape and some are portrait, but I'm just going to flip through real quick just so y'all can get a view. This is a page I want to color today, and I'll readjust the light again. I guess I just got to sit in the dark. All right, close the blinds again. This is a page we're going to color today. And so I'm just going to flip through just so y'all can see all the different mermaids and shells. There's a merman. So it's a very cool book. And I had a picture that I'd colored, but I tried to find it this morning. I couldn't find it. I think I tore it out, and I'm not sure where I put it. So I do have a finished picture somewhere. I don't know if I took it out and put it in my bind. No, because it was just this morning. Anyway, there's a page missing that I finished out of this book, but I don't know where it is right now. And the black background here, that's already printed that way. Hey Jan, anybody else I'm missing? Hey Karen K. The black here is already printed that way. Here, that's already printed that way. So it's very cool. I like this one too. This was my second choice this morning with all the goldfish. So I just want to do a quick flip. Again, all this black was printed this way, which that saves you from having to color it all in with acrylic paint. And then here's the one I played with this morning with just, all this is just marker. No shading or anything, yes, just the markers. This one, sand castles. So if you have any questions for me, put them in caps, so I know you're talking to me. I already talked to everybody before I hit record and how everybody's weekend was and what everybody's working on or have been working on. Then in the back there's like a pull out, like a little mini poster. So that is the full book, Dream of Mermaids and Seashells, Sirena, Mardel Rubio. And there's a Facebook group. So I do too. I like them. I paint my backgrounds black a lot of times. Hey CB. All right, so let's go to the page I picked. This one. This is the one, and this is my little test sheet here. These do not go through. They're just some water. They're water-based. This paper is pretty thick, and it does not go through at all. Doesn't even ghost with these, and they're water-based. Now, if you want to use alcohol markers, Copics or Color It or Hoo Hoo Heroes or any alcohol based, they'll probably go through at least ghost. And so make sure if you do use alcohol markers, that you put something behind so that it doesn't bleed through to the next page, or I end up tearing them out anyway. So yeah, so I just have a little test thing over here so I can see the colors exactly. And yeah, so let's zoom in and readjust the light. Well, that may not be too bad there for now. Has a little pink tinge to it. I don't know if y'all see that. I do. But I think we're good for a moment. You need this coloring book in your life. Yeah, it's a cool book. And again, the pages are fairly thick. I would say maybe 90 weight cardstock. Okay, so what I want to do is first get some base coat down on the, and then go in and shade with pencil. So I think I'll start with this bamboo here. I don't know what color I want the background yet. It may end up being black. But I'm going to go ahead and start with the bamboo. And so I think I'll go with kind of an off, like an olivey. That's a good color right there. Kind of an olive yellowy green. And all I'm going to do is just color it all in solid. And then I'll go back with pencil and shade and whatever. So y'all can talk about what's going on with y'all or what you're working on. Is anybody working on any color book pages that they're deep into? Let's talk about how long you usually spend. Y'all tell me how long y'all usually spend on a color book page. I mean, I know some are more simple and some are more complex and would take longer anyway, but like, what's your average time do you spend on a color book page? Do y'all know? Is it like, can you finish a page in a day? Do you, even if you don't come, maybe you spread your time out, like you might spend an hour here, an hour there. Do you know how many hours or how long it takes you to finish a page? Roughly? You're getting this book tomorrow, Starbuck? Vicky says 5 or 6 evenings. And Vicky, do you base coat or do you just do pencil? Because that makes a difference, guys. It really does make a difference in how long it takes to color a page. If you do a watercolor wash, an acrylic wash, a marker base, it does make it. Krusty Brush says she averages 10 hours. Starbucks 10 hours. Nisha says 2 or 3 days. Connie said a couple days. May says her average time is 12 to 16 working hours. So I think, May, do you ever base coat yours? And by the way, these pages are perforated, and I do take them out. So I'm just going to go through here and do all the... And I got to say, this paper and the markers feel really nice on this paper. I mean, it feels, it's enjoyable to color these with these Crayola Super Tips. That's what they are here. You use multimedia, Starbuck? Yeah, Dot doesn't color much in color book pages, yeah. Vicky says mostly just pencil. Karen, that's difficult at the moment. I try always Neo 2 and pencils, but 12 to 14 hours for sure. Yeah. And, it's a very relaxing hobby to color. But it can, for me, when I try to do so many pages for, because there's so many color books people request, and there's just not enough hours to do them all, right? So I do my best, at least to give y'all hints and tips. Even if I don't finish a page, at least you'll know how I do one. So if that helps you when you're coloring yours, at least get some hints and tips. And a start, you always start with either. You mean like some kind of a base, G, Taurus? May says, if I use only Inktense, I can do a picture in 4 to 6 hours. Do you wet down the Inktense? Or do you just use the Inktense as a pencil? Or do you wet it down, May? I like Inktense for small areas, but I don't like it for big backgrounds. I can just get so much smoother blend of a background with other things. Inktense for me they're vibrant and everything, and I like them for small areas, but not big washes, not big areas. G. Torres said watercolor or markers as a base. Yeah. Karen, I'm coloring at the moment Throne of Glass because the paper works well with your Neo 2s. Zeely is probably average, about 10 to 12 hours. I use a base wash about 75%. Yeah. You can just, for me, it's more satisfying to get something down and then start doing the shading and the blending on top. I just feel like I'm getting somewhere. You know, now she's a mermaid. She has scales on her, so I'll probably do her, in green. I'll probably do her, or maybe blue. Mermaid doesn't have to be green, I guess. We just, she could have blue, and maybe a very dark blue background. Let's see. Maybe I'll do that in marker too rather than paint. Let's see. Let's see how dark blue. Let's go with almost a purpley blue. Let's see if that's. Yeah, that's a good dark purpley blue. Let's see. Dark blue. Let's see. This one. That's black. Okay. Yeah, that's almost like true. Whoops. That's almost like true blue, and that's a purpley blue. I kind of want a navy. I don't know if I have something that's quite exactly what I want. Let's see here. Yeah, that one's better. Okay, so there's the 3 shades of blue right there. The dark blue, it's probably hard to tell. That's got more purple, that's more indigo, and that's more true blue. So we're going to go with the indigo type. And I'm going to put this behind here just because I'm going to go right up to the edge so I don't get it over the edge. Let's see what else everybody's saying. Probably average. May says she uses the Inktense as watercolors because I can layer easier than normal watercolors. Yeah, because once they're dry, then they're permanent, so you can put another layer on top once one is dry. May, is that why you like them? She says, but I can also mix markers, watercolor, Inktense, and pencils. And G. Torres says, it all depends on what color. I love to color female, so I always knock those out in a few hours and then procrastinate on everything else. So right here, right there is the perforation. So I'm just going to color right up to the perforation. And so you see I got that so I can go right over to the edge. Oh, here's another. Missed one of the bamboo things there. And these really do last a long time. I don't know if y'all have used these Crayola super tips, but they do last a good long bit. And they're inexpensive. I mean, a pack of 50 of them runs about $10 at Michael's, and if you use a 50% off coupon, you can get 50 of them for $5. You just can't beat that, You can't beat 50 markers, and they're just water based. They're not watercolor markers. They're not like, the Kuretake real brush watercolors. They're not going to blend like watercolor. But for base coloring, they're just awesome. And for, the price, you just can't beat the price. So you don't feel like you're using them up, because you can get them for so cheap. Let's see. Mink says, I wish I had a chance to do a color page. Always have other things to work on. Yeah, I know. It's so many projects, right? So little time. I know. So that's another reason I like doing bases. I got to remember to stay here in camera. I'm so zoomed in. And it almost feels like when you're doing this with the marker as a base, you feel like a kid, like you're coloring with your old crayons. It just feels to me less stress, I don't know who keeps tweeting me. Oh, I'm not sure. I think, let me take my iPad out of here because I can't turn the sound off Twitter, but I'm somehow included in a conversation. Hang on. Okay. I'm included in a conversation that I have no idea what it is. But, so, skin I use mostly pencils because they are permanent and don't have. Yeah, now skin is something that most of us take, and to me it is the hardest thing to color. Skin, regardless of the color that you use, whether it's a blue or a green for a mermaid or just a skin color, it will skin is the hardest because you want it to look very shaded and blended and more real, and that is the trickiest thing to color. So I'm just going to take a minute here. So if y'all have any questions or want to talk about your techniques, your coloring techniques. I know not everybody colors. This channel is not a coloring. I wouldn't call it a color book channel. Color tube. We do coloring, but it's not like all we do. So we do so many other things too. So I know that a lot of people here don't even color. They do art journaling, mixed media collage, drawing, painting, all kinds of mediums. I love the texture of the paper when I use a base. Yeah, it feels like it gives you some tooth. It gives you, and depending on which kind of what kind of paper you're on, and also whether you're using marker versus acrylic. Acrylic paint, to me, acrylic paint washes, or even a solid color. Like if I was coloring this whole background a solid black with not a wash, but just like full strength, it gives it a tooth that you can pencil on that you just can't get with just pencil. And I know I've shown that demo many, many times, so I won't do that right now. But you just can't get that effect of fog and mist and stuff like that on top of pencil that you can get on top of acrylic paint. So I'm just going to get in here and so I don't see anything else in caps. But this is another book that I love the images in, that I just, we work our way around the different books and try to get back to them after we do a page or two in them. And I'm just using this so that when I go off the edge here, I can go right off the edge without getting it on the rest of the book. And, you might want to start with the background. You might want to start with the face, and I'll do different depending on the page. Sometimes I'll start with the background. Sometimes I'll start with the, main image, and it just depends. There's no rule that you have to do it a certain way. And you find, if you're using acrylic paint, you'll find if you do the background first might work better for you, or you find what works best for you. I'm really liking this dark blue though. This kind of, it looks more blue on camera here, but it's almost like an indigo color in person. So color's a little off. So if you're not working on a color book, what other projects are y'all doing? So if you're not a color booker, if you're not a colorist, what projects are you working on, or did you work on this weekend, or in recently? What are y'all working on recently? If you're not working in a color book, what are y'all working on? I know, I think Terry said she was taking a class. I don't know what else y'all are working on. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's past the first. The scavenger hunt is over. The scavenger hunt challenge. Jan says anything Eileen tells you to do. I'm trying to get caught up on your videos. One day, Janet, I couldn't watch recordings, and that was the first time that it ever happened to me. But I think Ustream was doing something, because other people were having issues in other areas, not just that. So, but then I went back, and I was able to watch them. So I don't know what happened right then. I don't know what happened with the not being able to see recordings for a day. But now I was able to, and so now I have to get caught up on, unless you put them up on YouTube, then I can go watch them on YouTube. But there was a couple of them that weren't on YouTube, and I couldn't get them to open. But finally did, so now I got to catch up. Karen says she's collecting stuff to find the beginning in... I'm collecting stuff to find the beginning in art journaling. So you're just starting to art journal? Is that what you're saying, Karen? I'm not quite sure. May's working in Momo Girl coloring book. I don't know what Momo Girl one is. Don't know if I have that one. I don't think so. I don't know it by Momo Girl anyway. Janet says you didn't miss anything, I'm pretty sure. Kathy says I found a video on Jelly Plate channel, and all making journals out of your jelly prints. Oh yay! When are you going to stream again, Kathy K. Bird? Unless you streamed over the weekend and I missed it, which very well could have been because I wasn't here a lot. Deb is the 6-inch. Rachel's Artful Challenge. It's Doodles this week. You see, that's another one I haven't kept up with either. I saw it. I saw y'all tweeting about it, but I haven't kept up with that one either. So I don't know about that one. Is it a weekly thing? I saw that it was Doodles. Is it a weekly thing? So like this week it's Doodles? Is that how it is, Deb? Oh, that's okay. To begin art journal. So you're just starting to art journal, Karen? Is that what you're saying? So, yeah. Jen's working in Zimya Snova. Yeah, that's another one I'd like to get back to. Have you done a vlog this week, Jen? I didn't see, or I haven't checked in a couple days. Did you do a vlog this last week? I enjoy your vlogs, Jen. And, well, I like your book hauls, too. Let me pull this down here so I can go right off the edge. Just looking for all the background. Mink is making cards and designing some more stencils. Yeah, I've seen, who did you send some to? Ange? I think it was Ange, and I saw something. Get all the way to the edge there on the bamboo. It's going to be a weekly challenge? Okay, Deb. I wasn't sure. Vicky is... Yeah, Vicky, is that the same one, the class, the Robin Marie class that Terry Trouble is taking? The book girl with the poem. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one. Or yeah, if it's a Korean color book, is it in English? I mean, not English. Is it in Korean? So I wouldn't know the name of it if it was in Korean. May. Because I have a few Korean color books, but I don't know what their English name is. Jen said no vlog this weekend. We had the... Oh yeah, your nor'easter. Lots of down trees. Oh my goodness. Did you get you didn't get hit by any trees or anything, but I know your husband's probably out on um helping others. Starbuck, love the blue against the brown. Thank you. Yeah, I like that dark blue. And this it's kind of a greeny mustard color. It's not really mustard, it's got green kind of to it. There's no names, there's no color names on these guys. You know, that's probably one of the ways they save money. They don't name them or number the colors. You can always make your own color chart, though. I have not done that. I probably have charted them out, some time ago with the 50, but I haven't done it with the 100. So Galena earlier was asking if there's any duplicates, and I don't see any like obvious duplicates, but I haven't really tested them. That is the same class, Terry, that you're taking? That's where I saw it then, at Xandra's, Mink. Okay, then that must have been where I saw it. We watch so many of each other's streams. Sometimes it's hard to remember whose things you saw on whose channel. Because we're all at the same ones. you know? All Korean, no English text at all. I haven't seen that you have it. Okay. All right. Well, I'll have to go look for pictures over. Have you posted any pictures of it on Instagram, May? Then I'd probably have at least seen yours. Frank had non-stop fire department calls on Friday. The wind was pulling the electricity off the houses and starting fires. It was a busy weekend, but we are okay. Yeah, I figured if there's something like that going on, then your husband's probably out in the thick of it, Jen. He was so cute when you show him every now and then on your vlog, It was he looks like he has a great sense of humor, does he? Just the little like things you've said to him and the little comments and stuff. I bet he's hilarious. I don't know. Just that's the impression I got when you shown him just for briefly. Let's see. You're gonna get another nor'easter on Wednesday, Jen? And May said the last one, the girl on a swing in pastel colors. Okay, I'll have to look for that. And you posted it on Instagram, May? I hope y'all can see. If you're watching this recording, I hope I'm zoomed in enough for you to see. We're kind of just doing, you know, no shading or anything like that yet. Just base coating in. Here's another little piece here. Trying to find all the backgrounds. I'm not sure what that is right there. I think I'm going to color that as part of the background, although I'm not quite sure. But I'm the boss of my color book, so I can make it anything I want. And you know, you're the boss of your color book. So if there's something you're not sure what it is, and you color it, and you go, oh no, that was supposed to be XYZ. Well, the artist who did the color book is not going to email you and say you did it wrong. He's a character. He's always makes you laugh. Yeah, yeah. That's great, Jen. Wednesday, they're expecting a lot of snow. It is on. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for all those updates. Okay, so I think we have the background done. I'm looking. I mean, there may be, like, right here, that could be some background. But if I colored it part of the seaweed, nobody's going to care. No one's going to know. I kind of just, all right, so like right here, here's some more bamboo right there. Just kind of looking it over. Here's another piece right here. And this might be a little, this might be a little blue. I have to keep moving the book around when we're zoomed in this close. All right. So there we go. All right, so now this, I think I'll do the sea turtles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 sea turtles, or these goldfish type things. I think I'll do those. So I think I'll just start with an orangey color here. This is the same color I used on the goldfish on the other page, and I'm just going to get them. Oh, here's another little bit of blue right here. Do remember, though, these are water-based. So, for instance, now I'm going to go in here and do these yellow fish, or kind of yellow-orange fish. That may be, I think I'll do their fins the darker color and their bodies one lighter shade. I think, let's see, do I like this one? Is this lighter? I think I'll go with this color instead. I'm going to go with these two, a yellow and this color orange. And remember, though, if I touch the blue, there's more. If I touch the blue with the yellow, you're going to smear it, right? So be aware that you don't want to, they are water-based. Dot stitching, silhouette cutting, and stencil making. You're a busy one today, Dot. All right, so I'm going to take the yellow and kind of, so just know that the colors aren't going to blend like alcohol markers, but they will move. You know, they'll move. So if you touch the blue to the yellow or something like that, they're gonna move. Does that make sense? All right, so let's do these fins here. And again, we'll go back and do some blending and shading with pencil. So I'm just going to get some orange on him here. Then yellow. And then the rest will be with pencil. Can y'all see that okay? I think so. Okay, let's go. Any more fish? I think that's the only 2 fish. All right, so now I want to do, I thought about doing the sea turtles a green, but I want the little shell parts to maybe be turquoise and the little bumps on him. So I'm just going to kind of go, and I'm not really, let me just kind of show you here how I'm going to do this kind of quick. I'm just going to kind of do like this. I'm not worried about getting everything not on the lines there. Like I don't mind getting some of, that's going to be turquoise, those little dots. And same thing for the humps. I'm going to have those probably be a shades of turquoise too. So for instance, I'm going to go in here and just kind of quickly go between the, whatever you want to call those. I'll just show you here. I'm not worried about being perfect in the lines because I'm going to go over it with the darker color. So let me just kind of show you here. All right. So see, I just kind of really quickly went in between there. You swear your ink. You sweared your ink tints. Okay, I'm not understanding that, Connie. I'm not getting that. Sorry. You sweared your ink tints? I'm sure that's a typo or something, and I'm just not getting it. I'm used to reading Jean's typos, so I usually get typos, but I didn't get that one. Okay, so I'm just going to get the green parts of the turtles based in. Because I kind of want her to be blue. So my turtles will be green and teal, green and turquoise, and then she can be blue. Yeah, I didn't get it either, May. I'm sure it's just a typo. She'll re-say it. Okay, so let's keep going on the turtles here. Janet, what do you, has Eileen told you what y'all are doing today? You smeared the ink tints? How did that happen? How did you smear them on a page? Were they not dry? Because they're supposed to be permanent once they're dry. Completely dissolved and dried. Hi, Annie T. No, I don't think anybody's got Jean beat as far as typos. Trust me. Y'all follow Jean on Twitter. We get pretty... Oh, that's supposed to be a little bit of the bamboo. She hasn't told you yet? So you're not planning anything? Hubster's home today, so we might have to go run an errand or two. So if that's the case, please record, Janet, and take it off of private so we can watch it. Because I might have to miss at least some of it. And I'm not sure if Jean is going to stream at 4 or not. I haven't heard. And for those of y'all watching the recording, I get people going, who are you talking about when you say this or that? I try to mention everybody, okay, like Jean is a musical scrapper. Janet is Monkey Island Madness. You know, I try to mention everybody, but I can't do it every time I'm talking to somebody because, you know, we're all talking in chat here. So I can't mention it every single time I mention a person. But I try to bring them up. Galena, I'm close behind Jean with typos. Connie, I don't know. I thought they wouldn't, but I must have not had them dissolved. Yeah, I maybe not, Connie. But you mean like you had them on a page and they smeared? Is that what you mean? Bummer, girl. Okay. All right, let's do this one here. They dried overnight. How did they smear? Like on your hand, onto, like, across a page, or... There's a little bit more little blue right there. I like ink tints for tiny, small areas. Like, let's say this little, you know, turtle or something like that. I don't like it for big areas that you have to try to get a smooth, you know, solid blend or something. I don't like it for that. But they're nice and vibrant, and I like them for tiny areas. You got all the backs of the bookmarks painted. Oh, good, Connie. Yeah. Everybody that I sent bookmarks out to should have them by now. If not, the latest should be today. I sent them all out, so to finish and send to Eileen's scrapbook store for the school. Janet's going to finish her 6x6 challenge book and then do the 2 challenges. Okay, Eileen. Well, thanks for letting us know what Janet's going to do. Okay, so it's smeared across the page in the sky. Okay. Can you paint over it or something on that page, Connie? Okay, so now I'm looking at all the turns a little bit more right here. Well, make sure that she records, will you, Eileen? She usually is good about recording. Just she has to remember to take it off of private. Okay, so now what I want to do is, let's see if I want this color of turquoise. That may not be dark enough. Let's see what other one I have. Is this one maybe this color? This one's a little too green. It's almost going to kind of be the same as that. So let's see what other colors I have here. That's too green because this is probably my darkest turquoise in the set. Yeah, so we'll go with this. And because we're in a shade too with pencil, right? So this isn't like the final color. It's not like the final answer. We can phone a friend. You have them in their pretty wooden box for a year and figured I would give them a try, but they may take another nap. You mean the ink tints might take another nap, Connie? Janet half the time doesn't listen to you. Yes, she does, Eileen. Mostly. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, see, this is what I want. And it may not be enough of a contrast for you to see yet, but I'll hold it up, or... I mean, I can zoom in a little bit more, but I am kind of having... It's a little tricky to try to stay under the camera. So, see how I'm doing the teal color? So that that's the color I want these turtles to be. I want them to be teal and lime green. And then, of course, shaded. You know, they'll have shading. We'll throw some shade on them. So you can see how fast you can get a page going. You know, you can get a lot done with markers. Hopefully I'm not blocking everything here with my hand. Janet now thinks she's... Why would she say that? Why would you say that, Eileen? Something must have happened over the weekend I'm not aware of. Did something happen, Eileen, over the weekend? And by the way, Eileen is our enabler elf, E-T-E-E. You hear me talking about Eileen. She does, and by the way, Eileen does not stream. She doesn't have a YouTube channel. People ask us all the time, Eileen. In case you didn't know. They're always asking me and Jana, well, does Eileen stream? Does she have a YouTube channel? No, she just bosses. I mean, politely tells Janet suggestions. The Dingtons need a nap, Connie said. I don't know. See, I totally missed something there. I missed something must have happened over the weekend. Just don't bring up delusions. Oh, okay. I am one video away from the one she did yesterday. So I'm not sure what all she did with the delusions yesterday. But I heard she did not, I saw on Twitter, she did not know they reconstituted. After all the slapping, smacking, dragging videos I've done with delusions, Janet just seemed to forget. I guess, because I haven't watched her video from yesterday. I guess she forgot that delusions will reconstitute. Just saying. I'm guessing something like that happened. Okay, so there we got the start of the sea turtle like that. All right, so I'm going to keep going here. This is, this is very basic coloring, guys. Just to get the color down the page. Very basic. No shading yet at all. If you notice, there's been no shading. Just coloring in with these markers, which to me it's very relaxing, and you feel like you're getting a lot done pretty quick. Don't watch it. Janet says she's listening challenged. Oh my goodness. But I did see the tweet, and I did tweet something back to Janet about, haven't you watched my Smack and Dragon videos on the delusions? So I'm not sure what kind of disaster she might have had yesterday with them. Okay. There's that sea turtle based in. She's too busy smacking Patty. Yes, now I did see that from the day or two before, Eileen. Yeah, I know it's a little tricky for Janet to do Smack and Drag, and she wants to do Smack and Pat. For those of y'all know what we're talking about when you spray ink down on a non-porous surface, like a craft mat or whatever. I have a quilting mat. And you spray your inks, whether it be delusions or wetting magical powders down. And you do that on your craft mat, and you take your paper and you turn it over and you go smack and drag, and then you get a nice pretty smear of ink. Well, Janet likes to smack and pat. And you got to smack and drag. Although I saw those striped ones you did, Janet. Those striped Smack and Dragons, those were nice. The problem with that was you didn't have enough water, so it made stripes. You got to get it nice and juicy, so when you smack, it kind of plops underneath. That's a technical term, plop. You got to plop it and drag it. No padding. The padding I reserve for the leftover inks. Like you're just trying to sop up the leftovers, Janet. That's when you pat. You plop and pat if you have leftovers. Did everybody get all those technical terms? Okay, one more little sea turtle here. Janet says he's a trailblazer. Oh my goodness, you girls crack me up. Yep, that's you, Janet. The Smack and Dragon trailblazer. You pat. Oh, quit hanging out with Eileen. You're getting getting an attitude. Pick it up from Eileen, you think, Janet? Okay. You heard that, Eileen. We can't hang out anymore because I'm getting a bad attitude from you. Janet thinks she's in a baby nursery. Okay, well that I have no idea. I totally do not know what that means, Eileen. That must have had to do something with yesterday's video too. That I'm not up to speed on. The baby nursery. Oh, but I did see a tweet. Robert fell in the lake? What's all that about, Janet? I need to know what that's about. That's all. I think I just saw something about you had to dry his clothes or his phone or something. What happened to Robert in the lake? Was he chasing the emu? Jean said last night she was going to... Oh, so Jean, the musical scrapper Jean is going to stream at... Jean streams at 4 Eastern. And she uploads to YouTube too. She needs to do some more watercolor. I know she was working on the scavenger hunt, but I want to see Jean do some more watercolor. That's just my preference. I mean, she can do what she wants, obviously. But I want to see Jean get back to her watercoloring. So let me see if Janet answered about... Because she... Oh. There's a lag in chat, so I have to wait a minute. I want to see what happened if Robert fell in the lake with his phone. That's all I saw. Funniest thing ever. I'll call and tell you so I can laugh all over again. Okay, Janet. Oh my gosh. I go away for a weekend or I'm out of the house for the weekend, and boy, do I miss out. I'll tell you. I'm one video behind. I feel like I'm a week behind. Maybe we can get Jean to do an abstract watercolor. I don't think so. Jean likes to do her real watercolors, Eileen. She's going to be jelly plating. Oh, hi Denise, New Jersey. Jean mentioned she will be jelly plating today. Does she got a project that she needs to finish, Denise, or something? Could be. I missed, what that was. Hey, Susan Ribbons. Anybody else I'm missed? Okay, so there we go. So see how far we got already? In just like less than an hour. Okay, now I got to decide what color I want her. Do I want her a light blue? Let's test this blue-gray. That's a cool blue right there. I could do her that. Or skin is, can be a little tricky. You might want to not put any marker on the skin. I think I'm going to do her this light blue, but I don't want to get it too... See how you can get it kind of dark? I don't want to do that. I want to try to keep it as, keep it wet-edged and keep moving with it like that. But I want her to be blue, I think. She might have a little bit of green. See, she's got scales on her shoulders there. So let's see if I can do this kind of... you want to keep a wet edge so there's no lines. As best you can. Of course, again, I'm going to go over it with pencil, so it's not like I can't shade over it. I'm trying to stop on areas where you won't be able to notice. I don't want a line, you know. And she's kind of a gray blue, so she won't look like Avatar or something. You know, I have done, and I didn't even think about it when I did that dark blue. I think it was in a Hannah Carlzon book. I did the blue lady, and everybody said, "Oh, you look like you did Avatar," and I didn't even think about it at the time, but yeah, I guess it did. Blue skin girl. There's a little bit of streak in there, but I can go over it with pencil. So, okay, here's a little bit of background right there I missed. Hey, Third Terry. So I want her to be blues and maybe a little bit of green in there. So I'm just going to base coat her skin. And we'll do the rest with pencil. But I want to get all the marker done first. And you do want to make sure this is dry, by the way. Like, this is still damp enough that you don't want to take a pencil right to it. Heat gun it or just wait a little bit to make sure it's dry. Because otherwise you're going to just dig into the marker. You want to make sure it's dry before you start adding pencil to your marker or any wet medium you're putting on. Arts paid the tree people in Wet Lake money. See, I don't have any idea. I don't even know what happened, Kat, because I missed yesterday's stream. Okay, so there we go. So she'll be like, I don't remember which book it was in. If I could remember, was it in Summer Nights? I think maybe. Let me see if it was in Summer Nights. Which one was it that the blue girl? Let me flip through here. I thought it was Summer Nights, but I could be wrong. Nope. Okay, let's see. Was it Clara Markova's Magical Delight? No, that's not it either. That's not the blue girl. I'm sure it was Hannah Carlzon. Tide Bar? Let me see. Maybe it was Tide Bar. Whoops, come back here, bug. Yeah, here it is. So it was in Tide Bar. This one, the blue girl, her, that's all pencil. And that took a while to get that blend. It's all pencil right there. This was a double page spread. There's my marker here. Okay, now, let's see here. Where do I want to go next? I think I want her hair to be a blue color too, but I have to have it. Let's come over here. Let's see. Would be a good blue. Okay, so her hair is very line arted up. There's a lot of, it's very dark as it is, but I'm going to go ahead and do blue hair on her. And I can't tell you this is the color it is. I can't tell you numbers or anything like that because there aren't any. Trying to stay in camera here. And her eyes are almost black anyway. Yeah, I like the girl with the blue skin too. That took a while though. That was all pencil. Okay, so let's get up here and find all her. And I'll put some highlights in there, like especially where it's going in here in a dark area. You can't really see it. I can go over that with light color, light blue or white, or even a Posca. Go in with the white Posca to lighten it up, and then go over it with pencil. But so far, everything we've done is just a base coat, no shading yet. It's just all solid marker. Okay. Looks like some leaves are kind of on her body there. She's like behind some kind of leaves or something. Or those might be fins. I don't know. These right here, they could be fins. We'll do the leaves first so I can find everything. Okay, so let's see. The coral. Let's see about a nice peachy color. That's too orange. Let's see. Let's see what color this is. Kind of a... It's a little pink still. I was hoping a little bit more. I don't really want orange though. It's almost like it's going from orange, brown. Yeah, that's too tan. So I guess it'll have to be this kind of a pinky color. Let's see, that's a purple. That might work. Kind of like that purple color. Maybe these colors. I'm thinking of the plants now. Let's go with this. Yeah, let's go with this purple. For this coral in the background here. Okay, I don't see anything in caps, so everybody's just talking amongst themselves. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching over there. Thanks for all the new subbies. Got a lot of new subbies over the weekend. Thank you guys. I am going to plan on doing a giveaway for YouTubers. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. What do y'all think? Maybe the Bailey J book? That'd probably be a good one. Okay, here's some more. Right in here, this needs to be the background color right in there. So if you're watching this, see, that's how, you can see who's watching and they answer your comments. So I know some of the girls said they would like a box of collage stuff, and that was if that's something everybody would like, I don't mind doing a box of collage fodder, but I can't ship a huge box international. I could ship an envelope international. Or if I gave away like a book, like a Bailey J book or something, I can ship that international. But I can't ship one of those big $20 priority size boxes international because that would cost $50, $75. And I'm not going to just send a bunch of collage fodder international like that. I mean, one little envelope can cost $10 to $15. Not that y'all aren't worth it, but I'm just saying it's kind of a waste. To send a bunch of like trashy papers people use in collage international. You know what I mean? So that's what I was talking about earlier, but I think it was before I hit record. I was telling a few of the girls that wanted me to send them these my coffee lids. These are just the lids off my coffee. And they'd ask us, I'd send them. So I said, well, yeah, that shouldn't be a bad thing. I could just, and so I went out and bought some of these little, padded envelopes to send these in, right? So I get home and I go like this. I go, oh, these won't fit. So the next size up to ship is going to cost $6 to $7 for a little coffee lid. So I'm not doing it. It's just like, you might as well just go buy the coffee for $7. And get your coffee lids. Give the coffee to somebody. So I'm not doing the coffee lids. So yeah, and anybody that's here in the chat, if you're and everybody, we all follow each other on YouTube. You leave a comment there too. So y'all let me know. I want to do a nice giveaway, and for the YouTubers and anybody here that follows me on YouTube as well can participate, of course. And what you'd like for a giveaway, Okay, here's a little bit more hair right there that I missed. Because we do small giveaways here on Ustream, usually every week. I know Azure, but everybody is talking about how the plastic. They like Here's the thing about these plastic lids that is kind of cool is when the acrylic paint dries on these, you can peel them up and have cool acrylic paint skins. These plastic lids like that make that. But yeah, so it's not like they don't have, any other option like a paper plate, Everybody knows that, but yeah. Uh, yeah, Ange, by the way. Okay, so, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Do I want anything else purple? I might, so this little bit of coral here is that purpley color. I'm thinking maybe her shells and her shell top, at least the shell top. Let's see. Maybe I'll do these shells another color. But I'm trying to carry the colors all the way through. So if I use one color in one place, like we got it going around the piece with the turtles. Now there's only this much in the orange, so maybe, this flower right here or that flower could be this color so that it carries throughout the whole thing. All right, so I got to get Crack-A-Lack in here. So again, we're just using the Crayola Super Tip Kid markers. And the nice thing about these is with the Super Bullet Tip, you can get a fat line, a medium line, and a thin line. So there's one of the nice things about using these Super Tips. Hey, Jeannie. Anybody else popping in? Okay, so let's see. There's a little bit of shell here on her arm. I think I'll do that a different color, but I think I want these shells to be that purple color. These in her hair. Of course, I'm going to add, pencil to them. Okay. So we got some purple here, some purple there, and purple here. Okay, I'm thinking this might be some kind of fin or some kind of a skirt. So I think I'm going to carry the purple down to there too, just to make it look like that's part of her. But it's just very soothing to color with markers and get everything base coated in and then go back and shade. Okay. So now let's see. Let me go back with these yellow and orange colors here. Were these the two I used or was this one? Let me do a test here. I know this was one. Was this? That's the lighter. Okay, so these are the colors that I used on the fish. So I'm going to come up here and do at least one flower. This one probably looks like kind of like a sunflower, so we'll do that one. So I'm just going to color all. See how quick that is just to base coat it in? And then maybe the center, a tanny brown color of some kind. That's too tan. I would rather have it more a little bit on the sienna orange. There we go. Kind of like the inside of a sunflower. So that brings this up to there. Now let me take a little bit of the orange. Is this the one? Nope. It's this one, I think. Yeah. And I'll just add a little bit of that orange in there too. I'm going to shade it with pencil, so I don't really need much. Okay, so now, next color I want to use. I'm trying to keep it moving so you can see the whole thing. I'm thinking. I think I want these little pod things a bright color too. Maybe a couple shades of purple. Let's try a darker purple here. I don't want to, that might get lost in her hair because her hair is dark. So we might need some lighter colors. Let's see, a magenta color. I like that, but it's not very different from that. It's a little different. It's just like one shade darker than this. So it's not that much difference. So let's see. See, I'm looking at all my colors here. Maybe a mint green. No, because she's kind of minty green. She's kind of minty. Let's try another shade of pink, maybe. Maybe some more yellows. No, I think that needs to be a pink flower. Need some pink in here. Let's see, where's that lighter pink I had here? This one. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so this flower back here is going to be pink. And I'll probably do something down here too. Maybe these can be pink. Even though this looks like a different kind of flower than the others. She reminds me of a Native American Indian. See, I was thinking she was more Indian, like from India. Okay, there's some stems back in there. Okay, so there's that, and then I think I'm going to do these down here, pink. There'll be shading on them too, but just get the base coat in here. That carries the color throughout. These are kind of like hibiscus type looking flowers. I'll just do the stem and everything because I'm going to go in and shade. Alright, so there's those pink, that pink, and I think I'll do this armband, the background pink, because I'm going to go over it, so it's going to have a few colors in there, but, and maybe, no, I think I'll do her little bodice, and that's her little hair ties there. You think she's Hawaiian? Because you're thinking that probably because of the hibiscus. That this kind of looks, and the water, yeah. Well, she's a blue girl. Okay, now let's see. I think I do want a little bit more greens, maybe an olive kind of green. Because I got lots of greenery still to do, right? I like that olive green. Let's do these little pods. Whatever they are. We're going to do these pods. I'm just going to base coat them with green, this olive color, and then we'll go in with other shades. because this will stand out from her hair. I think there's some, a little bit of, where'd it go? Some of the bamboo back there. Now, do I want these to be that color too? I think I'm going to do all these like to be some kind of a pod thing. I might put a different shade on top of them. And I can put some, what do you call it on there? These could almost be peacock feathers. But we're underwater, so I'm not imagining these to be peacock flower feathers. I'm imagining them to be some kind of plant. Oh, that's a different plant. We can use Posca to highlight things. Okay. I think I want to make sure that that stands out, so I think that needs to be like the lime green. These little fin things on her. And her little hair ties. I'm going to carry that green through there. That's more of her background there, I think. Or her hair. Let's do that. Okay. Coming along nice. No, this is not. No, Suze. This is Sirena, the color book. Mardel Rubio. Colorful Dream of Mermaids and Seashells. All right, now I think it needs some more bright color. Like, do I want orange? Orange would be good. I think I'm going to do these oh, got this little bit of coral here. Let's go with a yellow on this coral, this particular one. See, I accidentally touched the blue there and made it a little bit of a green accidentally. So you got to be careful because these are water soluble. Okay, so I have that one be a yellow, and then I think I'm going to have these three be orange, like bright orange. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Now, is that part of a hair thing? Because her hair things are lime green. And then I'm just going to base coat all this plant orange. And we'll shade with the details with pencil. Uh-oh, is that? Well, it's going to be one of the part of this now. But it is now. I'm going to do it orange. So in probably about an hour and a half, we have everything base coated with a marker. Which, if we had done that with pencil, would have taken a day, and that's no joke. Now we are going to go in here and do shading detail with pencil, but we have a base coat of color. And it is kind of Hawaiian in the sense of lots of bright, colorful flowers and stuff. But she is underwater, remember? Unless these sea turtles can fly. Which, hey, you know. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'm going to back out for just a minute so you can see the big picture. So there's the whole thing. Move all these markers out of the way. And it just curled a little bit on the edge. It'll curl back. But I think I'm going to go ahead and tear it out, just so I can start shading. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and unperforate take off the little. There we go. And now I can color. Don't color on your desk with pencil if you have any kind of bumps or anything. Okay. You forgot our other hair tie. Oh, I did. Thank you. Thank you, Nina Beaner. Good eye. Okay. And I also need to do the inside of this. I think I'll do that green too. It needs a little bit of green right there. The little stamens inside that pink flower. This one doesn't have it, but it does have a stem. I'll just do that. Go right over that with green too. There we go. Okay, I'll zoom back in when we start shading. So let's go ahead and move all the markers out of my way. So I'm not rolling around while I'm trying to use pencil here. There we go. Okay, and again, this is in Sirena, Mardel Rubio. I'm going to use Prismas because we're doing our budget-friendly markers, so we'll just do Prismas. Okay, I'm just going to kind of roll it out here a little. Just kind of get it flattened back out. So yeah, so it's pretty colorful. Okay, so real quick, well, you know that really is blue skin people in Kentucky. Now, I did not know that, Eileen. But I am going to take a quick break to go get some juice. My coffee's cold. But I'm going to go get some juice, and then I'll come back and spend about an hour shading. And, you know, we should have this, hopefully have this piece almost, if we don't completely finish it, we'll have a bulk of it done. We'll start with her skin and work our way out so that you can at least see different, you know, however technique we use. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick break. Let me get Andy over here. Where's Andy? Okay, guys, give me 2-3 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay. So, let me just make sure my chat is not. There we go. So I got some cold cranberry juice. That's good on the throat when you're talking a lot. Andy can't hold his breath underwater that long, Prisma. Okay. So, let's see here. Bring over some pencils. And again, these aren't all my pencils, but these are like my basic colors, and a Posca here, and my eraser if I need that. So let's see. What we want to do. Let's start with her skin. So she's going to be a couple shades of blue here. Let's see. That's pretty close to the same color. Oh, let's zoom back in. And let's see if I can refocus. The color's pretty true. My skin's not the right color, but that, when I look at the camera and look at this, that's almost exact color. So I don't want to really lighten it up too much, because that's really true color to the actual piece, even though it gives me a nice tan. Okay, let's see. Maybe I don't need just a couple colors really. Maybe only two. We'll start with this one. We'll just start with Periwinkle. Let me sharpen. Hey, Button. Anybody else popping? Did I say good morning to you, Julie Topaz? Oh, I got the hiccups now. Okay, so I'm going to start with just the two. I'm going to forego the mid blue for a minute. I'm just going to go with Periwinkle and Cloud Blue and shade her. And probably use the light blue in her hair as well. I might need, can y'all see all right? Do I need to zoom in one more? I want y'all to be able to see, but at the same time, there we go. I think that's okay. Okay, Terry, have a good afternoon. Thanks for being here, my little mod. Oh, wait, Terry, before you go. If you're unless you've already gone. This is my this is our Terry soundboard. Have a good day, Terry. Okay, so I'm going to start on the edges of her mouth here. It's very tiny, guys. I can zoom in a little bit, but I mean, seriously, this is a small look. You know, she's little. It's a little face. Can see very good? Okay. So I'm going to just start shading here. And, you know, you have to work with the lines that the artist draws, so you can't just like, I mean, you could paint them out, you know. Terry. But, and that's one of the things that you have to deal with the color book lines, is the lines that the artist gives you. So let me do this half here. I'm going to do her blue eyebrows a little thicker. So I'll do one side of her face here so you can kind of see. And then up on our hairline here. Is Andy aficionado? Oh, brother, Prisma. Oh my gosh, it's like Denise, my daughter. She posted one of those, those memes on Facebook, and it had let me see if I can show you. Well, I'll probably mess up my lighting. I'll show you at the end. It's hilarious, but I have to readjust the lighting when I put my phone up there. And I really kind of wanted a little bit of green in her skin because she's got these scales, right? So I was wondering if I should maybe put a little bit of green in her. And I'm just trying not to bear down. I'm trying to have light pressure. So let's just kind of do a little bit of modelly like scaly bits there. And I might put a little bit of green in her skin too. But well, what it was, I'll show you what it was because that way I don't have to get the phone. So what it was is it was a meme and it said, let's see if I can draw it here. Let me write it in marker. I'll draw it. I'll draw it for you. Hang on. Let's see. Here's. Okay. And this is like a brick wall, like. Now my eyes are watering. Oh, thanks. Y'all get so Jeannie's laughing. She got it anyway, and but it was like a real picture, right? It had a real wall, crumbly little brick wall, and it had a real spring. I'm tickled. Oh my goodness. It's so corny, and I think I actually posted some corn cobs on there. Corn. Told her it was corny. Oh my goodness. So anyway, all right. So let's get back to the. I can't see Chad. I'm laughing. Yeah, a peeping spring. Yeah. It was. It was like, tilted out like it was peeking around the corner. My dad and I used to pull jokes like that on each other. Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, let's see. She might have a little shade here by her hair. Probably have a collarbone or something there. I'm just taking, light. I'm not bearing down. I'm trying to keep it light. Yeah, I know. I was got to catch my breath there. So there's a start there. All right, now before I put any more color on, I want some green in there. I want some lime green because of her scales, I want her to look mermaidish. So let's see, let's take an ASMR moment. I'm going to take the chartreuse or lime. I'm not sure which one it is because it's down to a nub. And I'm going to go in here and just kind of put a little bit of green in her face. I got a little something there. Looks like let me see if I can erase that. Some little mark there. Nope, I'm not sure what it is. It might have been a pin mark or something. So I'm kind of going over the blue I just put, and then a little bit into the light skin area too. We can go back in with some more dark blue, but I just want to get some green in her. If she has a little blemish on her cheek, that's okay. Maybe it's a little mermaid blemish. A little algae or something. I gotta sneeze, guys. Excuse me. She has a little blemish on her cheek there. Yeah, she's got scales. She's a mermaid. I wanted to get some of this green in her before I put more dark blue or darker blue. Okay. Needs a little bit more right here. She's got ick. Yeah. Yeah, the fish disease ick. Yeah. All right, now I'm going to go back in with, I'm going to sharpen my blue here. I might even need a little bit darker. Maybe I need a little bit of indigo. And what I do with my indigos is I put some blue painter tape around the indigo because it looks so much like a black. You can't hardly tell them apart. You can't really tell them apart. And if you ever pick up a blue thinking you picked up black, you there's you don't want to be shading with blue when you think it's black. All right, so now I'm going to go in here. Let me sharpen that. I'm going to get in there with the indigo. So I put painter's tape on the blue pencil. so I know it's blue. Alright, so now I'm going to be kind of cautious here, and I'm going to go in and shade really, carefully here. And it is, the face, the skin, I should say, because I've got her arms too. This does take the, the most concentration and the most, you really want to blend carefully on skin. And I will put a highlight in her eye. Probably darken her pupils and also put her some like mascara or some darker eyelashes. I'll probably do that too. Hey Paula, how you feeling? Have you got over your flu, I hope? Give her a little more shadow right in there. Because there's a black line going down her face from the artist. So you got to kind of roll with what the artist has drawn for you. Unless you white it out, which I've done that too. Jasmine Beckett Griffith, girls, if there's a line, like 2 double lines under her eye for the eye line, I white that out. So I'm just finding the very darkest with the indigo. In other news, that's 2 days at work. I'm not sure what that means, Paula. What does that mean? What you just said about work, which I'm not going to repeat, on the recording. I'm not sure what that means. Because you were sick? I know you had the flu. Alright, so here's our little scales, and I'm going to go over each one with the dark blue. Just little U's, little U's there, little U shape. Same thing for over here. A little more dark blue. And then under this shell on her arm, there'd be a shadow right there. And a little bit more on the up underneath of her arm here. Same for this side. Maybe just a little extra dark blue in the scales. I missed something. Paula. Paula, repeat, repeat, Paula. Now I'm going to go back to the periwinkle and do, now I'm going to go back over and soften up the indigo. Very lightly. Got to take your time on skin. You know, you can kind of fudge on the flowers and the leaves, but the skin you really need to just kind of really take your time and blend nicely. Thanks, Diana. I don't know. I missed something going on there in chat. Okay. Softening all the indigo. And a little blemish there. I don't know if I can kind of blend that like you would makeup. Oh. Can you do anything about that, Paula? Maybe that's what you were talking about that I missed. That you are going to do something about it. I'm just going over all the indigo one last time, and then I'm going to go over everything with the light blue. Well, you know, I do a lot of skin, you know, I do a lot of portraits, so it comes a little easier to me because of the years of practice with color pencil. But, you know, I think you could follow what I've just done here. You just got to take your time on the skin. Like I said, you can blend out the flowers kind of wonky or something, and you wouldn't, you know, you're not going to be able to tell. But skin is more, you got to be a little more careful with the skin. And I'm not bearing down. If you could see, I mean, this is how light a pressure I'm doing. Can you see how light that is? Okay. Oh, good, Paula. Well, I hope you're feeling well enough. You're going to stream soon when you get that other issue resolved that you were talking about. Okay, so now we're at this stage. She actually could have a little bit more eye thing right there. I'm going to do some eye detail here in a second. See, the artist put a black line down the nose, and it's kind of throwing me off a little. But I could have just whited it out, but where's the, oh, you mean the Oh, are you talking about because you bought stuff that Z um, recommended? Yeah. So you use light layer. Oh yeah, light layers for sure, Nina. It's all light layers. All right, so now I'm going to take the light blue, which is, I think they said it said cloud blue, and I'll start down here on the arm just to get my, going here, and I'm going to go over everything to blend it all nice and smooth. And maybe I'll show you from one arm to the other. I'm going over the green, I'm going over the blue, I'm going over the indigo. I'm just going to kind of try to blend it all nice, but I'm not bearing down. The thing about color pencils is wax-based. The thing about wax-based pencils is once you get wax bloom, once you've bear down and you get the waxiness showing, not that there's anything wrong with it showing, but by that stage, there's no more blending. It won't blend after you get to that stage because you've got the paper mashed down into itself and the wax is so thick. And again, I'm just doing it very lightly, light layers. And you can kind of go back and forth, up and down, do some circles, just to get it all nice and blended together here. Okay, so let's see if you can tell between this and this. I don't know if you can. Can you tell? I mean, does it show up? See how smooth that is? So you can still see pencil marks there. I plan on streaming tomorrow. Not sure what time. I have to go to the post office and bank. My work only pays for 1 week. So I have to go. Okay. Okay, make sure you tweet, Paul, if you stream tomorrow. Okay. All right, so now there's just a little bit of her arm showing right there. All right. We probably have about 30, we've been here 2 hours. We probably have about 30, 40 minutes left. So however much we get done in the next 30, 40 minutes, that'll be it. So I'll try to do like one turtle, a flower. I'll try to make my way around the whole thing so you can at least see what I'm doing with each item. And then I will tweet and post the finished pictures. I always do that. I always try to, it might be a day or two later when I post the completed pictures, but I always try to post the completed pictures, even if it's a day or two later. Usually, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Okay, so there we go. And if you even want a little bit more of a highlight, you can take white paint, or I'll just take a Posca. Let's make sure this one's, and let's just say right in here there's a highlighter, or I'll just put a little bit there and then just kind of pat it out. Janet, did you hear that? I'm patting, Janet. put a little white there and just kind of pat it out. So you just get a nice extra highlight there. See? Okay, so let me sharpen again. Oh, something on the skin tones. Hang on, let me see. I will pay you in nubs if you take care of doing skin tones on your pages. Pay me in nubs. You're so funny, Prisma. No, but I did think about selling some of my color book pages. So I might end up doing that. I haven't decided yet. I'm not talking about copies. I'm talking about selling the originals. I wouldn't make copies and sell copies, but I would sell some originals. Okay, May. Thanks for stopping in. Enjoy your dinner. I am kind of taking my time though on the skin, guys. I'm not, I want a nice soft blend. And if you bear down and go, too fast, you're going to, it's not going to work for you. You got to kind of take your time. If on nothing else, take your time on the skin. And of course, sometimes it's going to depend on the paper too. Create Space, like Bennett Klein and some of the others that use Create Space paper. It is a little more work. It's a little trickier because the paper is like copy paper thin. So if you really want to practice your skin and stuff, and you really want a nice, it's a big face or something, I'd recommend copying it off on a nicer paper before you put hours of work into it. I'll work with whatever the books are. I rarely make copies of a page to, color on a different kind of paper. But, if you're worried about not being able to get the blends, then try it on both. See what you can get. See what you can do. Try it on both. Gingy, it looks amazing. I'm going to have to buy this book. I know. I bought that one you enabled me on, Jen, last week. And, we just started out with the Crayola. Oopsie, and I think I didn't get that quite dark enough, and I went over it. I want that dark right in there. With the super tips. And pencil on top of the super tips. So here we can see the blend. I'm going to go back in there with a little bit more dark on those scales to make them stand out. See her neck there, and see this arm? See how it's not as smooth? Can you see that? That's all smooth, and see, you can still see the pencil right there. So now I'm going to take my indigo. Let's get it nice and sharp. Yep. I broke the tip off of it. And I want to get in here and just do a few really dark little scales just to give her nice scales. And now I won't go back over that. I'll leave those scales nice and crisp. Okay, so now let's come over here on this arm. Well, I'm just thinking, I got so many. Now, I wouldn't like tear apart a Hannah Carlzon book or, the books that are like stories, Tide Varv and Vinya Snow, now the name has escaped me. Thomas Love Tomic's book. You know, it's like a fairy tale in the whole book. You know, something like that. I won't take those apart. But you know, some of these that are like one-sided pages. Blending just that little bit makes, yeah, it does make a big difference, doesn't it? But it's light layers. I'm not bearing down. You know, it's hard to tell the pressure when you're watching. It may look like, oh, that's all blended out. She just smashed it down. No, lots of light layers. Now I'm going to go back over again with the final dark blue little extra little scales there. Nice and crisp. That. Okay, now we're going to go into her neck and we'll work our way up to the face. Okay. And if you feel like, you know, going over this with the light blue that you lost some dark areas, then go back in there with the dark. But I'm blending the light blue over the indigo, the medium blue, the periwinkle, and over the lime green. I'm going over all of it. Can't use stream till 2 anymore. I could stream. You mean till 1 my time? I could stream till 1, but by the time I'm done with this, so let's see, it's 11:40 now. So if I stream another 30 minutes, you know, which is like what Ustream gives us, about 2 hours and 45 minutes, it will be like right after 12, right? So I don't want to start just another extra 45 minutes. You see what I mean? I can't really get a lot done in that short a time. So, you know, it just depends on how much I want to get done. If I need to do an extra 30, 45 minutes, I would, but I'm not going to today. I have some errands I have to run, and I might get back by the time. And Janet will probably go on early if I leave. If I beat feet, Janet will come in there. Maybe she might come on early. Y'all have to trick her header into doing it. Probably don't have to, you know, as long as she doesn't have too much to do, she probably will come on early. And then Jean comes on at 4. And I'm talking Eastern time here, Eastern Standard Time. Aw, you're sweet, Prisma. Zeely, Dee Dee, I have so much fun this weekend watching some of my older videos with the color book ATC swap. I know it must have been a lot of work, but would you consider doing something like that again? An ATC swap? I might at some point. I think the next thing that I heard that we were all going to do was a zine swap after Janet got back from Australia. I, I kind of went over that with the light blue, and I lost a little bit of the dark. So I'm going to go back in here with just a little bit of indigo and darken that back up a little. Right under the shadow there. But yeah, they are a lot of work. A zine swap is not for the faint of heart. I mean, anybody can do it, and it's not like it's hard necessarily, but it is more work than a ATC swap. So that's the thing about a zine swap. It's more work. Um, I probably come on early. Eileen's bossy pants. Okay. So yeah. So y'all, as soon as I'm finished here, guys, in the next 20, 30 minutes or whatever, Janet said she'll stream early. So y'all aren't left in the lurch with nothing to do for an hour. And again, guys, the artist put a line. There's a little line here, and there's a line right there, like the neck line there, or a collarbone or something right in there. And unless you white it out, which you're fully, can do, then you got to work with the lines that the artist, the line art that the artist gave you. She said when I'm done here, limo. Sorry, I keep wanting to say limo. It's limo. Janet normally streams at 1 on Monday because I usually, sometimes my shows are a little early. Sometimes I run a little over, and Janet goes, just keep working. So there's her neck, arms, and see, that's kind of a harsh line right there, but there's that line right there. I could kind of soften a little, but I think I'm just going to go with that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is get up into the face. Let me go ahead and do her eyes. So I always tell y'all with pupils, I will take a Sharpie pen, not a marker, Sharpie pen, because, see? And make the pupils nice and black. And then I'll take a Posca and put the highlights. And actually, if you can get in the whites of the eye, it's a little tricky, even with the sharp, fine point Posca. You might have to get the whites of the eyes, let that sit for a minute, and then go back in and sharpen the pupils back up again. Same thing for the eyebrows if they're black. And I'm also going to, after I blend the skin, I'll go in and do mascara. But you don't want to try to have to blend around eyelashes. All right, so I'm going to start at the top of the head up here. And again, it might get a little light because you're going over it with the light blue. And if that's the case and you lose some of the darker blue, go back in there with the darker blue and put another layer of dark blue. And then go back over it again. And I'm just real softly. Now, make sure that, like I'm going over here with the dark blue, I am kind of blending and feathering that out. But be careful if you pick up the dark blue on your light blue pencil, and then you go over to, if I just picked up the dark blue, then go right over here to a real light blue, you're going to carry that over and you're going to make a mark. That's why you see a lot of stuff like this on my table. I'm cleaning off the pencil. So be careful when you go from the dark blues or blacks, or the darker colors and blend into a light color, that you're not picking up the dark color and smudging it. And I hope y'all can see. I know I'm not zoomed in like to the 10th power, but and there is a little mark on her cheek there that I'm not sure what that was, but you just got to do this lightly to get everything to blend. And see how that's really lightened up compared to that? So I might need to go back in there and add a little bit more of the darker, and then go back in and blend that out. Just depends on how light or how dark you want it. Okay, I got to sharpen. So the skin does take the longest. I want to do a couple of little flowers, or at least one turtle here, so we'll see how far we get. But I do like to color in real time, whether it's just a marker base or a pencil or whatever, so that you can see actual time. Nothing wrong with speeded up videos or anything. It's just that sometimes that leaves you with the impression that things don't take as long as they do. I always appreciate when someone that does do a speeded up video tells in the description how long it actually took, especially on a color book page or something, but it's true on anything, on any art. If someone's speeding up the video, I like to know how long it actually took, because not people that do it all the time. We kind of can guess how long something like this would take because we've done it, right? But new people that may not have colored a lot or drawn a lot or painted or whatever the technique is, doesn't know how long things really take. And sometimes they can get the impression that, oh, that color book page, she just, it's all speeded up, and it looked like maybe it took her an hour. Okay, K-Bird, thank you. Okay, so now just kind of blend her lips in there, because I'm going to put a little white on that. Alright, so I'm going to put a little highlights on her face, and then I'm going to do her eyelashes, and then we're going to do like one of these flowers, a turtle, and just kind of... Oh, I did want to do one other thing. Let me sharpen. I want to do her hair. I want to show you how I'm going to do her hair. So her hair was almost solid black with line art as it was. I went over it with the dark, some kind of a blue marker. I forget which one it was. This one. This color marker. Now I'm going to go in here with the light blue, the cloud blue, And I'm just going to put some lines like where the highlight would be right in the center of the, they're like buns or like rolls. It's like a braid, but fat braid. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some lines where the highlights, and I could even put a little bit more with Posca, but I'm going to start with this, and I'm just going to kind of go right over the lines so you can see the difference between this and this just by putting those lines in the middle of the roll. Note, see, I left the shadows where they were, just right on top, right there in the middle. I put some lines. Can you see the difference between those two and this? And the same thing, see where that strand of hair is right there? I'm going to go right over that with the blue and highlight that. And then if you need a couple even brighter highlights, you could do that with Posca. So I'm going to do this line right here on our strand there. And then I'm just going to go in here and just put some lines right where I want the highlight. And then there's the braid, or her little ponytail comes around, or the braid edge comes right over the top of her arm there. Okay, and then there's a little bit, let me sharpen again. Thanks, Dee for your reference to buns. Made you hungry for cinnamon buns. Prisma, you're such a card. Hey, Orla. Oh, the hope. I love my Poscas. Yes, I do. Okay, so now I'm going to just highlight. There's a little bit of her hair showing in here. Just a tiny bit in there. All right, let me do her eyes here. Okay, so I'm going to go back because I already put some little bit of white highlight in here, but I want to sharpen the pupils. Okay. I don't know if I can, let me see if I could maybe prop this up. I don't really want to zoom in. Well, I can't really do that. If I zoom in, I'm going to lose all the color and everything like that. So what I'm going to do is just use the pen for the eyelashes. I'll do one side and then hold it up so you can see the difference. I'm just flicking out some eyelashes. Let me do her pupil here. Okay, so now see if you can see the difference on this one has eyelashes and that one doesn't. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. I'm just going to flick. And what I'm doing is, let me show you with a thicker marker. All I'm doing is like, kind of like that. Just kind of flicking it out. Don't do this. Don't do that. Maybe I need to flick my eyelashes. Yes, you do. Just like putting on mascara. And a couple extra long ones in the corners, you know. Okay. All right, now I do need to kind of make sure I got our highlights there. Now I'm going to highlight her lip. Now I'm going to show you some tips on some good highlights. Okay? The tops of the eyebrows and underneath the eyebrows. Now don't just leave a white line there. If you put it with Posca, you've got to kind of tap it out. Okay? that brings out the bone in the your eye bone. You know, the bone on right behind your eyebrow. You know, that bone there. I'm sure that someone in the medical field could tell me what bone that is. Okay, and then I want a little bit right on the nose bridge. And again, I'm going to just kind of smear it out. I don't want a line. And then probably right on the tip of the nose a little there. Let's give her a little. Again, I have that line going down her face that I don't like. But, okay. And then right there under the cheek. Like right in there. Like right above the cheekbone. But then tap it out. Don't leave it like a big blob of white. The chin sticks out. Okay. And really just a little bit on the nostrils, but don't do like circles on the nostrils. Just kind of take it easy on that, but it does have a little bit of a highlight there. Right here in like the neck here maybe. And could have a little bit on the forehead. You know, she could have that little shine spot on her forehead. She has a little bit of a crooked nose, but I'm following that line. Oh, and I messed up one of her eyebrows here. Oh, see? Look. I started using this thinking it was black. Oops, that one's not sharpened. Here we go. Okay. I got to fix this highlight in this eye. It's bigger than the other one. Let's get them the same. Just kind of like the wrong spot. There we go. The optical bone, is it ACC or is it optical bone? With a P. OCCIPITAL? Occipital? Okay. See, I would never have guessed that. Okay, now let me get my white here. Sharpen. And like right here, I got a little, I need just to smooth that out just a little. I got a little too much white there. Okay. Same thing on her nose right there. Let's just kind of, because I just tapped it in with my finger. You know, it's a little more, it's a little trickier with your finger than with a pencil. So I just want to make sure. Corners of her mouth are nice and dark. Right under her lip there. Go back in and maybe do a little bit more shadow right under the eye there. A little on the neck. Okay, so I'm going to leave the face. I could fiddle with it for a little more, but I think we're good on the face because otherwise we're not going to have any time left to do anything else. Occipital. Occipital. Thank you, Button, for the phonetics. Okay, so let me do the hair. I'm going to go back over here to the hair again. And I'm going to put even a little bit more highlight. So what I'm going to do is just, now I've already got long kind of highlights in there, but I want to get just a little bit even more highlight just right along there. Just tap, 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 tap. Now, see how that gave it even just a little more highlight? So if she has real shiny hair, so I kind of did that right there, and then kind of tap it out. See how that gives it more shine? And it's got to be on the places that's the humpiest. The place with the most bend, right? That's where the highlight's going to be. the shiniest shine. But because I'm using a Posca here, you don't want just white lines. I mean, it might be okay in some of the hair strands, but it won't work much anywhere else. Yeah, the humpies. And I don't want to forget these hair strands coming out around the edge. Oh, they're sitting on her arm here. Okay. And if you get it too light, go back over it, make sure it's dry, and then go back over it and knock it back. You know, like there might be a couple little strands on her hair here on her forehead. And you can even do this. Same thing for these. Now, I would not recommend doing this till you're completely done with the background. But like, let's say I'm finished with this orange flower here. Then you could take and put some little loose strands of hair like that. But you don't want to have to try to color around that. So it's best, don't do this until you finish this. So like, see this strand right here? I'm going to do the same thing over there. But you don't want to do that until you finish the turtle and anything that you're putting that white line over the top. Those are the end details. This could have been a lesson for Okay, now let's just see about doing like the shells on her body and her hair. So I'm going to get a light pink. I could even use white. Let me just see how white that's going to show up. No, I need pink. Let's get light. Let me get a lighter. Let me get a pink here. ASMR moment. I know I have a pink in here somewhere. There it is. All right, so I'm going to get pink and I think it's processed red, which is like a magenta. Okay. So now I'm going to take let me sharpen this. Okay. And I'm going to shade a little bit. I want to keep it pretty light though, but I'm going to put a little bit of the processed red just here and there, because I'm just going to add a little bit of pink and white, and that'll pretty much do it. This is tiny little stuff here. Okay, so there's a little bit of processed red. Can you see where I've done the dark right there? Now I'm going to take the pink. And it may not be pink. Yeah, it's going to be not dark, light enough. So I'm going to take the white. And I'm going to go right over the top of those shells, like it's individual little shells sewn together. And again, if that's not even bright enough, you can go back in with the Posca, but I think this is going to be just right. Okay, so now let's do the same thing on these shells. That's just marker so far. Now I'm just going to take the processed magenta and just put a little bit of dark. So can you see the difference between that one and that one? See, I just put the dark right there. Same thing here. I'm just going to put the dark right in there, right in there. Take the white and put a little highlight on the tip. And then, I don't know that I can get in there. I probably could do it better with the Posca. The bottom half of those shells, just a little dot, maybe. There we go. My cat was sleeping. Your ASMR stirred her, and she's watching. Oh. Just kind of bending it back a little. Okay, let's do a sea turtle because we're not going to run out of time. Okay. All right, so on the sea turtle where we did the lime green, I'm going to take like apple green or just not the dark. That may not be dark enough. Maybe. Okay, so this is apple green. Now remember, all this is just marker. This is 2 markers. It's the lime green and one of these teal color. That's all that's on there. Now I'm going to take the apple green and a darker, let's see which, I think I want peacock green, which is like a tealy green, if I can find it. No. Where's my peacock green? That's dark green. Hang on. Well, I want peacock green, but I may have to go with this. I'll just go with cobalt turquoise, which is darker than that. So I'm going 1 shade darker than the lime, another shade darker than the teal. Okay, so now I'm going to take the apple green and go in the green parts of the turtle. And just give it a little bit of shading here. Okay, and this back fin a little bit. Okay, so can you see where I've done a little bit of the darker green on the turtle? I need a little bit more on the neck right there. See right in there, there, a little bit there, right up under here. Maybe it needs a little bit more right there. Okay, now I'm going to take the darker turquoise and I'm going to do some shading around the little plates, whatever they're called on a turtle. So I'm going over the marker. So I'm not having to worry about that first layer being waxing up so fast because it's marker. It's not going to contribute to the wax factor. You know? So I'm able to get more a darker and more shades on here because that was marker, not pencil. I'll do one turtle here, and then you can be able to see a little better. And then same thing for a little bit of these other little scaly bits over here. And down here on this fin. Then I'll add a little bit of lighter, and you can see how much it'll stand out. Okay, all these little scales. Okay, so there's, now you can see this is what we started with, just a solid green, solid blue. Now look, just with one layer of pencil and one layer of pencil. Okay, now I might take a little bit of white, maybe just add a little highlight around his eye in a couple of little places. Brighten it up. And again, if it's too white for you, then after you do this, go back over it with lime green and knock it back. Okay, now I'm going to take a lighter teal color, which is light aqua. And now I'm just going to, I don't even know it's going to be, it's almost the exact same color. So I'm going to have to go with white because I don't have anything lighter than this in that family. So let me just go in here with white. And again, I can knock it back with the color, but I want to get a little bit of bumpiness to him. So his little armor is not flat. It has a little bump, you know, a little bump to it. And again, you can do each little one here. Okay, so now you see how it looks bumpy? And you can also get back in here with the apple green and maybe do a little shading like in between. So it just has a little variation on the lines in between those bumps here and there. So now we've gone from this to that. Can y'all see that? Dee Dee, are you still? Yeah. Yeah, pretty much light pressure. Some of the white, I put a little more pressure there because I'm kind of in a hurry, but yeah, but it's still light pressure. You can, there's never wrong to do light pressure because you can always build it up. Okay. So we've gone from this little guy here with just marker to that. See the difference? Here's another one. There's one here. That's just the marker. But look, it didn't take long, did it? How long would that have taken if you just did it all in pencil? It would have taken a while, right? All right, let's do a flower or two while we have time. We probably have about less than 5 minutes. So let's do one of these orange flowers here. All right, so I'm going to get a light, yeah, like, let's see, is that going to even be bright enough? No, I'm going to just need to go with let me just get a dark orange. We can probably just do it all with dark orange. An orange and maybe a sienna. Okay, no, that's, okay, so I'm going to go with orange and a sienna here to do one of these flowers. It's all the same. It's all the same kind of. You're welcome, Celia. Thanks for being here. All right, so I'm going to take a sienna color. I'm going to do, oh, it keeps breaking. This one's one of the bad ones here. Let me find another sienna color. All right, let's just go with, well, no, that's not going to be dark enough. Oh, I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to run out of time. Here we go. All right, so I got a sienna and an orange. That may be too dark. All right, so I'm going to start with the sienna. Let's do this flower here. Okay, so I'm going to just take the sienna and I'm going to do like that in the center. Just in the center there, like that. See? Gives the shadow. Look at the difference already between that and that. See? Okay, now I'm going to take that first orange I had with, I think it's just orange. Okay, let's see if that's going to be light. That's not going to be any lighter. So I'm going to need probably a yellow. Let's see if this one will be light enough. It's still not light enough. I need a yellow. That's better. I'm going to go kind of in between each one of those little veins. Get some light on there. And take more time than I'm doing here, guys, because, you know. All right, I'm going to take white. Let me take my Posca, because it'll be quicker. And I'm just going to put a little bit of highlight on the very tops, like where the leaf is the shiniest. Okay, where it's the very the hump of the leaf. Now I got to let that dry, and as soon as that dries, I want to go over it with yellow again, so it's not white. It's not quite dry. It needs to be dry before you do this, and go back over it. And I'll go over it with yellow, and now it's not white highlight, it's a bright yellow highlight. Then you can take your brown. Where's my sienna? I threw it back in here somewhere. Okay, so take a... Oh, it's not sharpened. I'm going to run out of time. Aye. Okay, now I'm going to go back in here on these veins that are the black line art, and I'm just going to kind of go over them a little bit with the sienna. Just so they're not black lines. Like black color book lines. So there we go. See how it's, and you could do, you can imagine this could be green, it could be red, it could be any color. So we've gone from this to that. See how it looks dented in now? And see, that's the same thing over here on this one. You just start with putting a nice shade in the center. See, like that. And then go back and kind of be more detailed. Here, let me do some more up here. See, just that little bit right there is going to make it have more dimension. Okay, same for over on these. You don't have to color every little, nothing that, not saying you can't, but if you have a block of shade like this, it looks more real. Like that, see? And then you can go in there and do more detail. Go on each vein and get rid of the black line and turn it into a brown line. Same thing for these pink flowers. Let's see if that's going to be dark. Now I'll go with the magenta because it'll show up. Okay, so with the same thing for the magenta. Here's the stamens right here in the middle. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in here. See how fast that was? with just the side of the pencil shading in. And I'm even kind of going over a little bit of the green stamens. Now I can go in here and start fussy highlighting and coloring and doing other things, see? But it's just a quick way to get the base on. Same thing for these flowers down here. Okay, these hibiscus. There's where the stem is. So I'm just going to come in here, darker in the center here, and then just kind of feather it out. See how fast that was? And I mean, you can go back in and take more time to like blend and feather. But like maybe the tips of these hibiscus are going to be very bright. Like they might be very bright highlighted. Okay. And then you can take your pink and blend between the two. Okay, so we got our bright highlights there, and now you could take the pink and soften in the magenta and the white, and kind of feather that in and take more time to blend. See the difference between that one and that one a little bit? And if you want some extra little highlights, you can go back in here and, you know, put in a few little extra little highlights in there, and you can soften it with your finger. But I can go back over here over the top of this process red and just kind of blend in that either a process red, magenta, whatever, with the pink, and smooth out the pencil lines and take some time to like blend, right? And then again, maybe you want a few extra bright white line showing in the flower. You know how flowers look with the, you can see more of the veining that's lighter. So you can do something like that. And you can even put your own little stamens if you wanted. Now I think this is actually the underside, but if you wanted to, you could put some more little detail in there. Yeah, this one's a little, there wouldn't be anything right there, I don't think. Biologic or botany wise, there probably wouldn't, that wouldn't look like that, but let me fix that green stem a little. Just so you get the idea. You can add your own little stamens. Thanks, Eileen. And the same thing for these little stamens in there. See, the little tiny ones? Go back in here and go back over it with your Posca, and if it's too white, remember, you can always, as soon as it dries, got to make sure it's dry though. Once it's dry, go back in there and go back over it with the lime green or whatever. See how that makes that pop out? Those little stamens? Same thing for all these little pea pod things. Each one of those, you could go in here and do this too. Put a little dot in it, maybe a little extra highlight around the edge. And as soon as that dries, you can go in there and put another shade of green over it to knock it back. Okay, see how I went under and a little bit down the stem? Here's what it looked like. Now, let me do this one for you real quick. And then as soon as that dries, I can go back with an olive, or I can shade under it, like, let me get a darker green. Put a little bit of dark green under that. Those little pea pod things, I'm not sure what they are, but some kind of pods. See how I put the dark green under the white? Now, as soon as that white dries, I can go over that with the olive, a lighter olive. So we've gone from that to this. Now, let me do those two for you real quick. Okay, I have to stop the recording now. Let me continue for just a second. So see, right there with the white. Now I'm going to take the dark green and just do a little bit of shading in there. Yeah, but it's telling me I have to stop now, so I'm going to stop. So I hope y'all got a lot out of this. Again, we've gone from this turtle to that. Let me back out real quick, so because we're going to run out of time. So we haven't done the fish. I might do a little touch up next time, maybe Wednesday. You know, because I would like y'all to see me do this fish here. I might go ahead and do the other turtles and a couple other things, but I might leave the sunflower and a couple things to show you, like the little lines on the bamboo there can be light. So I hope y'all got something out of this. And so yeah, we'll see you next time.